So, there's a Powerpuff Girls reboot.
Yes, there is.
I had high hopes for it. It's Powerpuff Girls.
I didn't have high hopes for it. I didn't even ask for it. I was like, it's like they were like, here's some more of what Powerpuff Girls. Why? That's pretty much how it went for me.
But how do you mess up Powerpuff Girls?
It's sugar, spice, and
everything nice. The opening theme is messed up.
It's like some kind of 80s grunge thing.
I hate it. What the hell were they thinking?
I don't know. Why did they think that? I hate
It's like the paper mache version of Powerpuff Girls trying to save the world without breaking any teeth out.
It's 80s grunge. It's like, let's do a punk rock opening, but without any of the punk rock.
Or anything good at all.
Yep.
Wait, hold on. Can we even call this a reboot? Because it doesn't even say where the Powerpuff Girls come from, who they are. You're supposed to know.
Yep, you're supposed to know. Like, the first episode doesn't talk about, like, this is the city of Townsville or some shit like that. Like, not really. It gives, like, the normal sentence. And they got the same announcer. So, it's really just a sequel.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. I mean, Professor Utonium's not even, like, really there. He's just some bad dad. Yep. I feel like man boy.
Oh my god, okay, yeah, okay, let's start about the actual episode itself. Let's stop talking around it.
I get it. I get what they were trying to do with Man Boy. You know, all these misogynists and women can do what men do, but what? How did they mess that up? Man Boy, who is definitely just some spoof of Chuck Norris. I mean,
because of the beard, right?
Yeah, he punched people with the beard. And Buttercup kicked his ass. He wasn't even like a bad villain.
Yeah, he's beaten by one person easily.
I mean, all in all, did they save the day?
Not really. They just
beat up some man boy. There was one episode where Bubbles? Yeah, it doesn't sound like Bubbles, but okay. Bubbles broke her arm, and the professor made a cast, but the cast had fingers.
Which was weird.
She doesn't have fingers.
But
the cast has fingers.
That actually brings up the question of the drawing style, which I feel like they've made a big change away from the original Powerpuff Girls, in that they're starting to do a style that involves the more modern cartoon. Why are people like us upset? I mean, maybe the kids love this, I don't know.
That's just... Oh, no, hold up. My sister hasn't even watched the new Powerpuff Girls yet, and she hasn't seen the old ones. That means there is no hype for the new Powerpuff Girls, because nobody is telling their kids about the old ones anymore. And now, just seeing these adverts, these kids don't know what the Powerpuff Girls are about. My sister hasn't even tried to watch it yet, and she's like 10. In any case, let's count off the terribleness of Powerpuff Girls, the reboot, 2016.
Yeah, I guess the one thing is just their lack of subtlety. Like, it's either the episode is pointless or it's so heavy-handed that you want to slap them to death with that exact same hand. You?
Their powers. New powers that were made only to sell toys, or so I hear.
Such as?
Oh, you didn't see that one? Where they create these Green Lantern type forms and shapes to beat villains.
Oh my god, no, I didn't see
Yeah,
that.
like I think Buttercup has weapons, like planes and tanks and crap.
Oh my god.
And Bubbles has animals, and Blossom has stationery, like a stapler.
Oh, I'm glad I didn't see that one.
Anything else you want to add to that?
Okay, it's heavy-handed.
Heavy-handed, yeah, hands.
It's so obvious. It's not. One of the things I loved about the old podcast was how clever it was. I mean, remember the Beatles episode?
Oh,
half
the Beatles
the kids
were great.
Probably didn't even get that, but it didn't matter how old you are, you could get that. And if you understood who the Beatles are later on, when you watch it again, you'd understand it. Tell me one thing that a kid would not fully understand immediately in any of those episodes. Even one. Or how about the one where Mojo Jojo takes those like multiracial kids? It's so funny. It takes like those kids and he gives them superpowers.
Oh yeah.
And he takes them away, and then like he throws this amazing line where he's like, "Okay, now you got your powers, go save the planet or something." Like half the kids won't get that. That's a Captain Planet joke. They won't get that. But you know what I mean? Like it's one of those. It's layered. The current one is just what's the other layer besides it's the fake meta bullshit that they keep trying to do now.
I don't understand it. Are they? Is this supposed to be like a full cartoon just for girls, or are they? I don't know, because the original was so good. It was for boys and girls. I loved the Powerpuff Girls as a child.
I love the Powerpuff Girls.
The core of the Powerpuff Girls was they were like Superman, except you had the fear that they could die. Like, every time they got beat to shreds, you worried about them. And now...
There was that time that, well, actually my favorite one, the one where Bubbles bled. Remember that one? Where she became like awesome. She tried to prove how tough she was.
Oh, when she went to level 11?
Yes, level 11. Remember? When the
was
tiny
incredible.
like little hand was like, and, like you know she's got superpowers, but you can't turn the knob a little bit more. That's how hardcore that 11 was. That was the shit.
It's just...
I dare anyone to try and get as emotional about the current ones. We know it's a kids show. We know it is. But do us all a favor. Go watch The Incredibles. Go watch Shrek. And then go tell us that shit again. It's not just that it's a kid show. Good show can hit everyone in the right spot. Go watch the old Powerpuff Girls again. And then go argue that shit that it's just for kids.
Let's get down to it. This is why you should hate the new Powerpuff Girls. The opening sucks. There is no sign of an origin story, and therefore people who haven't seen the original series will never know where they came from and who they are. If your goal is to bring in a new generation of audience, then you might want to do exactly what you did before and give the kids a damn story that they can wrap their heads around, starting with an origin, instead of treating them like they're all 3 years old and won't wonder how superheroes come to be. Which leads me to my next point. It can't be a reboot if you don't treat it like people have never seen it before. Which, by the way, most of your target audience hasn't. No episode really grabs interest, causing children to want to see more. No children I know have seen more than 5 minutes of it and asked for more. All the old villains seem to have given up on trying, which I guess is what the writers did. All the new villains suck. Even when there are times that the episodes seem to have a good point or at least doing something worth watching, it completely collapses on itself. By ending or immediately being followed by something so brain-numbingly boring, even kids are left saying, cartoons aren't fun. They made the Powerpuff Girls twerk. Twerk. The professor is a terrible father. Buttercup sounds like she smokes so much she needs to buy a new lighter every freaking day. The graphics are the only thing I don't absolutely hate, but fuck it, even that seems like they didn't put much effort into it, considering today's standards. The narrator may be the same, but even he seems to be basically a pointless role, unlike in the original where having a narrator fit the cartoon. This reboot, if you want to call it that, is nothing more than a shadow of the original, brought into creation to sell toys and get people feeling nostalgic so that kids just watch it because old people told them it's great. All in all, Powerpuff Girls 2016, you've been judged. 1 out of 10. Verdict?
Powerpuff Girls must fall.